Donald Trump is about to take the podium at a rally in Michigan. The state Hillary Clinton lost to Bernie Sanders in the primaries. We're waiting for that. We'll take some of that. The Republican nominee has been working to counter attacks from all fronts this week. He has a lot of powerful enemies looking to take him down. The Clintons, the mainstream media, even the UN, that body's official news service, actually put out a tweet calling on millions of Americans abroad not to vote for Trump. It was deleted about 20 minutes later, and some sort of excuse was being made. Meanwhile, another big newspaper has decided to go after Trump, this time USA Today taking a side in a presidential race for the first time in its 34-year history, calling Trump unfit for the presidency. He, of course, won't be taking that to heart. He never trusted the media anyway.
Oh, is the media dishonest? How dishonest are these people? How dishonest? Unbelievable. Not all, but a big, big fat percentage.
Well, remember how Trump took flack from the media for this week for saying he was given a defective microphone at the debate? Well, guess what? 4 days later, the debate commission just today admitted it was actually true, saying there were issues regarding Donald Trump's audio that affected the sound level in the debate hall. So, a lot to unpack. KG,
okay, yeah.
Composed?
What are you laughing about?
No, I can't tell, remember?
Can I talk about it?
Sure,
no,
sure. You're supposed not to.
I thought you were not supposed to.
Anyway, so we have USA Today, we have the debate, we have the tweets. What do you want to start with? Any of them?
Whatever you like.
All right, let's start with the USA Today.
Lead off.
USA Today is saying in the first time in their 34-year history they're going to recommend not voting for somebody.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, that's what this country is founded on. First Amendment principles, people being able to give their voice, their opinion, to say they want to support a candidate, to say they would not like to support a candidate. You know, so you're going to see this happen. But then, of course, you see with Trump, he's going to hit them back and say, ha-ha, and now you're going to lose subscribers. So this is the way the cycle works, and it's a free market, and people can choose to buy, to subscribe, or not, based on their ideology or political persuasion, and maybe sometimes those things pass because you may actually miss the paper.
All right, Juan, can I stay on that with you for a little bit? I noticed that the USA Today is Gannett Publishing, right?
Yes, sir.
Same with the Arizona Republic, the one that also said that they recommend Hillary. I think they went so far as saying they recommend Hillary for the first time, or a Democrat. Any link there? Publishing?
No.
Parent company says
No.
we're against it?
No. I think they all have independent editorial boards. I think the key here is you have people increasingly saying, you know what, Trump has a chance to win, and we think he's a danger to the country. And so I think people are speaking from principle, and you see it now across political lines. People who are conservatives as well as people who are liberals saying this. And the news this week has been the number of conservative editorial boards who are willing to stand up and say, you know what, we know that there are folks who are big Trump fans who may cancel on us or whatever, but we are not going to stand by at this moment in history and allow the country to fall into the hands of a demagogue. Now, what's interesting to me is Trump this morning goes on a Twitter storm, and he's back into the fat fight, right, with the Miss Universe. But I think in a way, again, this is Trump media strategy. You know, he just says, you know what, let's focus on this as opposed to all the scandals with his foundation that he didn't have a permit to raise money with Cuba, where he's doing business, where it's illegal, and nobody pays any attention.
We'll get to all that stuff in the next 58 minutes. But staying with the media, staying with the newspapers, do you see the Chicago Tribune backed Gary Johnson? Chicago,
yeah, a few.
I mean,
there's a
the
few
day
papers.
After,
oh,
he can't
Aleppo.
name one.
Yeah.
Forget Aleppo.
Yeah. It's like
name one world leader.
It's like throwing away your endorsement. It would be one thing, sort of like USA Today, which is never endorsed. This is unusual for them. It might be, if you're going to endorse Johnson, you might as well just maybe just say we're not going to have anyone to recommend, especially after that. But the thing for Trump that might work in his favor in this regard is, so you mentioned, so the media is unpopular. The UN is feckless and ridiculous in his mind, right? And then the Clintons are not liked. So he's not trying to persuade any of those people anyway. He's actually trying to beat them. And one of the things you saw in Michigan a couple of hours ago, where Trump is going to be speaking, we're going to take it to you live when he comes up, but people stood in line for hours in the pouring rain in order to see him. So he's actually, I wouldn't worry too much about all of these things. Like, the UN's never going to be for a Republican president. They're always going to be for the Clintons. The media has largely, probably on the editorial page, is not going to be for him. So he's actually, for the most part, doing a lot better than he would have if you were just a regular Joe Republican.
Dana, also because remember we were talking about he's the outsider candidate. So that he's not getting those endorsements by those big papers.
But then it is significant that
yeah.
there's history being made by some of these papers, like Arizona Republic and then USA Today making that decision.
All right, Greg, Dana points out the UN tweeted 8 million, I think 8 million people abroad it would have affected if they listened to the UN. But Dana also astutely points out most Republicans don't really listen to what
Can I interrupt you?
I haven't spoken yet, so
That's
sure,
right,
go ahead.
yeah. Can we just mention that they said they were hacked?
Yeah. All right. But I think he should I think this would be a perfect fact for a Trump ad. I mean, when the UN comes out against you, they don't do the same for genocidal maniacs and misogynist, homophobic jihadists. So you should consider it a feather in your cap when the UN, it's like the UN insulting you is like David Duke calling you a bigot. It actually works in your favor. By the way, I got this complaining about the media. Donald Trump got $2 billion of free media in this election. He bragged about having never to get TV ads because he had us. He had cable news. Cable news took care of it. And the media loves him. The media wants him to be president because it's good for their ratings. May not be great for the country, but boy, you can make a lot of money off his unpredictability. Lastly, the microphone thing is a bunch of baloney because he even said the first 30 minutes of the debate were the best 30 minutes, and I agreed. He was excellent when there was a malfunction. Maybe the malfunction should have been the entire debate. If the mic was bad, he could have won the debate.
No, I remember. I was in that debate hall, and it was.
But he sounded perfect at home.
Right. There's no question it went out equally as the same volume to the TV public. But in there, everyone's like, "What? We can't hear. What? And that could be a bit throw you off your game a little bit.
But that was the best part. That was when he was on his game.
It was really only about 5 or 7 minutes. I think they cleared
he was
it up
great
fairly
during
quickly.
it.
All right, let's do this. As Juan mentioned, Trump fired off a lot of tweets this morning regarding his feud with Miss Universe. He's gotten a lot of pushback. This afternoon, he put out another tweet to hit back. He says, quote, "For those few people knocking me for tweeting at 3 o'clock in the morning, at least you know I'll be there awake to answer the call." And that's a clever response referring to Clinton's missed 3 a.m. call from Benghazi. So, Juan?
Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like, wow. You think that the guy made a mistake by getting into this. I think we've all said, and I think even you, that he fell into a trap, that she set him up, Hillary Clinton, when she had Miss Universe in the audience.
I said Lester Holt set him up.
Well, I don't think Lester Holt had Miss Universe in the
I'm just
audience.
telling you what I said.
Okay. No, I thought, okay. But, I mean, we agree. It looked like Hillary Clinton really, put a trap there and said, go ahead, step right in the hole, Donald Trump. And he stepped in the hole. Then afterwards, even as people were debating how he had done during the debate, he went off on this riff about women who are really a difficult group for him as voters anyway. And now he continues. I mean, to me, I don't understand, but it seems like he can't control. And doesn't he sleep, Eric? 3 o'clock in the morning?
Hey, don't hate on people that don't sleep. I like it. So I can have something to do. Read
Has
the tweets.
anyone ever tweeted anything that they were happy about at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Not Greg.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
It's like the Chris Rock line about if you're going to the ATM at 1 a.m., it's for bad things. And there's no good tweet at 3. But this goes back to the fact we mentioned all of his enemies, the media, the UN, USA Today, and all this. His biggest enemy is himself. If he just gets out of the way of himself, Hillary set this thing up. They had the ads ready. They had the conference call. They knew through the psych ops that they had done that this is what was going to set him off. And it did. And it's like I said it before, he has a weight problem. He just can't wait it out. If he just ignored this stuff, it would have been great. But he can't. Twitter is his safety zone. And if you really like Trump, you shouldn't enable him. Oh, his biggest supporters should be telling him, lay off.
Well, and they had for quite a while.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe last night he snuck into wherever they were hiding the black
He's got a backup phone.
He's a burner.
They
You had a
really
burner
should
phone.
make him put the phones and the laptops in a box and lock
Yes.
it.
I liked
until
John
6 in the morning.
Podesta, the
Yeah.
Clinton campaign chairman. He said, I'm often up that time. They're the same age. And he said, I'm often up that time of night, but as well.
For other reasons.
But don't pick up the phone when you have to go.
KG?
Maybe they ordered one of those Hillary Clinton special Blackberries. He got one off of eBay. He's hiding it.
All right.
Maybe.
Okay. Very, very good. Perhaps. All right, let's do this. Let's see if Trump he still hasn't approached the podium. If he does,
Rudy.
we're going to bring us. Rudy's still there. He's well, look at that.
Rudy's
Rudy really
pulling
means
on
it.
some imaginary things.
So we'll do this, and Well, hopefully we get back and Mr. Trump will be at the podium. We'll take a listen. Next, Hillary Clinton's actively trying to connect with millennial voters. Will it work? And later, it's Facebook Friday. Post your questions for us now on our Facebook, facebook.com/the5FNC, and we'll be right back.
The nation's largest generation, nearly 90 million, are now of voting age, but will they turn out on Election Day, and for whom? There's concern, particularly by Democrats, about the millennial vote. Third-party candidates Johnson and Stein are losing ground with the youth as the election nears, as you'll learn on the podcast I have with Chris Stirewalt. He explains that whole thing. And the Clinton team enlisted help from Bernie Sanders this week and put out this new millennial-friendly ad titled Squad Goals. Oh. All right, they just introduced Trump, and so we're going to get back to that in a second. Can I ask you quickly, Juan, do you think that one of the reasons Hillary has having a hard time with millennials is that Bernie Sanders spoke so harshly about her for so many months and was so popular with them, so it's hard for them to turn around on that?
You know, I thought Bernie didn't speak harshly about her, but it was that Bernie Sanders was speaking to the issue that really burns with millennials, which is big business, Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street, that kind of theme, and he really pumped into that and into the debt, the student debt. Those are issues that drive them. Hillary Clinton's been late to the game on it.
Did you like that? I thought the ad sounded upbeat and kind of fun.
I would love to be in the meeting where all the wonks discuss how to make something look hip, quick cuts, brash graphics, a good beat, and in the middle you have, BS, which is Bernie Sanders. The key insult to pandering to young people is that you have to expect them to be dumb. You're expecting them to prefer hip celebrities over actual issues. Right. So that's why they look for celebrities. And squad goals, that sounds like a painful exercise.
I didn't like that title. I didn't really understand that. I think we're going to hear from Donald Trump in just a second. But Johnson and Stein, their numbers have been good. They're dropping. But we do have Donald Trump now, so we're going to save that for right after he speaks.
Thank you. It is so great to be back in Michigan. A state I've come to know and love during this campaign. You know, we won Michigan, and that was a great, big, fat, beautiful victory. You know that, right? And I've been talking about Michigan for a long time. We can't let them take your car industry out or your industry out of your state any longer. Not going to happen. I'm going to fight so hard for all of you, and I'm going to bring back the jobs that have been stripped away from you and from our country. In 39 days, 39 days, can you imagine? This started off, we're a long ways away, and some people didn't give us a good chance. They said, Mr. Trump, the other day, one of the biggest people in that business, the very dishonest press business, they said, Mr. Trump, when you started off, you have to tell me the truth. Did you really think you'd be here? I said, what the hell do you think I'm doing this for? Right? No, we expected to be here. And we're all here together. It's a movement. And believe me, we're all here together. We're going to take our country back. We're going to win the state of Michigan. We're going to win the White House. And it's going to be an awfully good November 8th. That evening is going to be a celebration. We're going to take on the special interests, the lobbyists, and the powerful politicians that have stolen your jobs through theft and incompetence. They've stolen your wealth. They've taken your middle class. We're going to take on the arrogant, corrupt corporate media that have enabled the global theft of American prosperity. A theft that has left behind crumbling schools, roads, bridges, and a totally depleted military. We have the greatest people in the world in our military. We're going to rebuild our military. This is when we need it. It's time, by the way, to rebuild Detroit. We're going to rebuild Detroit. It's time to rebuild Michigan, and we're not letting them take your jobs out of Michigan any longer. And it's time to rebuild the United States of America. We're going to do it. Our country is going to be greater than ever before. We're going to be the smart country again. Hillary Clinton has made a living raking in donations from special interests that have raided our factories and ripped the jobs right out of Michigan and every other state. That's how she gets rich. By taking your jobs and your money away from you and away from your state. That's why Hillary Clinton, if she ever got the chance, would 100% approve the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The deal she lied about the other night, when I said she called it the gold standard, she said no. Guess what? She called it the gold standard, and Lester Holt didn't correct her. I wonder why. The Trans-Pacific Partnership will economically devastate Michigan, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and so many other states all across this country. It will be devastating also for Ohio. Hillary Clinton's donors want the TPP, and their wish will be her command. That's what it is. These special interests pay her for speeches. And she's not a good speaker. Not a good speaker. They pay her a lot of money. You know, we have thousands of people here today. There are thousands and thousands of people outside trying to get in. Thousands. And they're coming.
All right, you've been listening to Donald Trump, and he's right. People stood in the rain for hours, thousands of them, to get in there to see that rally. We're going to bring it back to the 5 right after this break. This election has certainly been intense. We could all use some laughs right around now. And, of course, we saw Kimberly Guilfoyle let us in that earlier. But next, we're going to have Saturday Night Live do the trick. Because tomorrow, when it returns for season 42, it's got a surprise new cast member playing Trump. We're going to tell you who next. And Facebook Friday still to come. Don't go away.
Mr. Trump is the real-life inspiration for Iron Man. Who am I? I'm his publicist, Joey Pepperoni. No, I'm not Donald Trump in disguise.
The New York City subway is the best way to get around. Yeah, it's been a while. I'll just go in the old-fashioned way.
So now you're laughing. I love it.
That's happened to me.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live knows how to lampoon presidential races, and a lot of fans are anxiously awaiting the show's return tomorrow for season 42. The talented Kate McKinnon will reprise her role as Hillary Clinton. But Trump, guess what? He's not going to be played by Daryl Hammond anymore. That's canceled. Ready for this? Alec Baldwin will be sporting his best Trump impersonation this season. Greg, does this please you? I see a little cat-like smile on your face.
I thought that Hammond was great as Trump, and I'm sure Alec Baldwin will be good, but Trump is really his best impersonator, because he's such an iconic figure that only he can be him. You don't need impersonators. But SNL will claim to hit both sides. So let's let you show this. They'll go after Trump, and they'll go after Hillary, but the content is different. Trump will be seen as some kind of evil, diabolical clown, and Hillary will be seen as some kind of benign, robotic nerd who knows all the facts. So they say they'll be balanced, but you'll know who. There's an agenda. This is an agenda-driven show.
There you go. Dana, what do you think?
Well, Republicans never fare well in the general election on Saturday Night Live. They just don't. Trump, I agree, he's funniest when he's being himself, and he can be a little self-deprecating when he goes like on Fallon's show. It's very funny. I do wonder who is going to play Alicia Machado. That is a skit that they didn't plan to have, and it will be highly anticipated. And I think it's fraught with a lot of politically incorrectness.
And is it going to make the situation
I don't know.
better
I don't
or worse? We don't know. Bowling, you've been waiting for the moment for them to do the 5 on there.
Oh my God!
We
Don't
had
ask
heard
for that. I would never
Years
ask for
ago, we
that.
heard there. Fallon, can Alec Baldwin do as good of a Trump as Fallon? I think he's probably
Probably.
the best out there. I don't. Maybe he will. But don't forget something else though. Trump goes on Saturday Night Live a lot. He's hosted that show quite a bit. Over the years as well. So maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be fair. Maybe they might just take equal shots at both of them. What was that?
Oh, my mic wire was showing, so I'm trying to get it.
Our robot wires are becoming exposed. This
Is
is
someone
the
talking
problem.
in your ear, telling you what to say, Dana? Is that what?
Were you making
What did I say?
you were making hand
They're like,
signals to
Tuck
Juan.
your mic in. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And then that's why.
Got you.
Right. Okay, so
Friday
Juan,
show.
what do you think? Is this a good call? I think Alec Baldwin has no problem kind of getting in people's faces and getting after. I think it's going to be like a cathartic role for him.
So apparently Tina Fey recommended Alec Baldwin for this role, and I just don't see it because I thought Daryl Hammond had the kind of face.
great.
Yeah, his face and his gestures. So I'm interested to see what comes of it. But I must say, in terms of the criticism at this table, your favorite phrase from me, you know what? I think that they should be very direct and I think lambast Trump. I think he, in some sense, opens himself to this at every turn.
But okay, yeah, easy fodder. But Hillary is, come on.
Well,
But
the
no,
other thing
that's
is
a
Alec.
false equivalency, Greg.
The other thing is
What's
Alec-
the equivalence between, like, what newspapers recently have been criticized because they're now calling Trump outright liar. They say this. New York Times prints liar, right? Lie.
Hillary
And you say-
doesn't lie, does
no.
she?
That's where I was getting to on the equivalency. I think there's some people on the Republican side who say, well, you know, they both have their
Right.
problems. You know, Hillary and her email one,
Gotcha.
you know. And I think there's no equivalency. When PolitiFact
this?
weighs
Yeah.
their lies, it's like, here's Trump and here's Hillary.
Well, I think that's true, that you could actually make a pretty fun thing, have a James Comey character, like, talking about Hillary's lies on the FBI investigation and the emails.
But that would
I
make
also
everybody in
think
the audience uncomfortable.
Alec Baldwin knows what it's like to put out a tweet
Yeah, that's
that
true.
gets ridiculed. So in some ways, he might be a little bit more closer to it than Hammond.
Guys,
Right.
is it a good idea, yes or no, for them to go back on as themselves? Have Hillary appear, have Trump before the election, yes or no?
Probably not, because how much time do you have left? You
5
know?
weeks.
Yeah,
They
5
could get it
weeks.
done. They could get it
39
done.
days.
I say yes.
Good math.
Dana, what
I'm
do
not.
you think?
I'm counting. I would not do it if I were the Republican. I think Hillary Clinton would probably be fine, but I just feel like the conservative always ends up with the short end of the stick at this
Trump
point in
did
the
well when
election.
he
Which
was there.
conservative?
I would say
It's
he
just
should.
too risky. I think it's
he
too
should.
risky.
I think he can. Yeah, I think. Remember when he did Hotline Bling? Right?
Yeah.
He did a nice job with it. I'd like to see him, especially if they. I assume Kate McKinnon won't be Hillary on the same show. Did it? Was it?
But do you remember when he
They
was
have
mad?
interactive
Remember when he was?
fun.
Well, the story goes that he was very frustrated when President Obama was making fun of him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I just feel like if Trump, he needs to stay in the game in terms of focusing on Hillary. Taking time off to prepare to be on Saturday Night Live and the risk of that when the election is this close, I just wouldn't take that risk if I were those guys.
You know, that previous segment got cut short. We were talking about millennials and her need to do more with the millennials. I don't think it's the case that he's going to do better with millennials. The question is whether they get excited about Trump. So
He can keep her
Saturday
numbers
Night
down.
Live actually could help her.
But Trump has a lot of millennials that probably don't watch Saturday Night Live.
Nobody
It's-
watches
it's-
TV anymore.
Yeah. Don't say that, Dana. This is our live.
Stream it online. I know,
I got a
Dana.
mortgage.
Jeez, the 5. We are recession-proof. Stay right there because Facebook Friday, hard-hitting news segment, up next.
Yes, Facebook Friday. We answer your questions. Okay, Kimberly, you're up first. This is from Sandra S. What posters were on your wall when you were 12?
Oh. 12 years old, was probably, I think I had one Kiss poster.
Wow, really?
Nice.
I'm
Edgy.
surprised.
I'm edgy. You didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
And also, I had, like, I know, like Sean Cassidy.
Of course.
Or, yeah, I mean, you know, you had
You
to.
didn't.
Huh?
I had 3 older sisters.
Right.
You had every Cassidy.
I thought, yeah, who else did I like? Oh, I liked Christian Slater.
Ah, well, there you go. Poor man's Jack Nicholson. Hey, Juan.
Do you know that he can sing Frank Sinatra? He sang it to me one time.
Oh, good for you.
Get fine.
You mean personally?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Juan.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
I don't remember having posters so much. Sometimes I would like cut silly things out of the paper.
Right.
Like, in fact, I saw other day somebody was celebrating Willie Mays' catch, over his head in the Polo Grounds. And I think I had something like that, stowed away on the side there for a while. But it's not that interesting.
You're not a poster guy.
No.
Did you have any pets?
No. Oh, I had a turtle at one point.
But you have
Did you
to
put that on your wall?
No, I was told later that they're very dangerous. They have
Yeah.
all kinds of diseases.
Yeah, they
Salmonella.
do. Like box turtles
There
and
you
different
go,
things.
see?
You have to be very
Gotta get them out
careful.
of
You should have
shell.
been my mom.
Eric, let's
And
try
also,
to save this.
I
Yeah.
should have been your mom. What kind of psychological issues got going on there? Oh my
I
goodness.
probably, like most guys 12 years old, Charlie's Angels, Farrah Fawcett, the Farrah Fawcett
Yes.
iconic.
Right. The
Red.
famous.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
First
love,
time.
I love
first
Charlie's
time.
Angels.
Funny story that I brought it home and put it on my wall, and my mom made me put it in the closet. You can have it on your wall, but it's got to go in the closet.
That's sweet.
Hey, you could be his mom.
What about you, Dana?
Well, I
great.
remember at 12. This might have been a little bit. I might have been a little bit younger. Sean Cassidy
Of course.
So same.
and Rick Springfield.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, I
But
like
then
them too.
I think around 12. Do you remember Tiffany?
Yes.
I had a poster of her.
You're so funny.
Do you
We're like
remember her?
yes, totally. We're the same because I used to love Rick Springfield when he was on General Hospital. Also, we were both Bluebirds, Campfire Girls, which is also very unique. We didn't go like the Girl Scout and also our debate team stuff and
right.
speech.
So I, wait,
Same
Can you
person.
bring me in the circle? Who is Tiffany?
Tiffany, I'll play it for you
She
later on
sang
YouTube.
in malls.
No,
You know
I
what
think
I had
we're
when I
alone
was
now.
12? I had a poster of Bill O'Reilly, shirtless when he was in Menudo. He was only in
Did he
there
have
for
a
about
spray?
8 months.
Did he have a
and-
spray tan?
Yeah, he had a spray
Is
tan.
Geraldo and Menudo too?
Yeah, they were all in Menudo.
Oh,
No,
God.
Geraldo-
That's how we hired everybody from Menudo.
Geraldo's still in
Kennedy
it.
was in Menudo.
Oh my God.
He could
Kennedy.
sing. Okay, we'll go this way. This is from Brooke G. If you could go anywhere in the world for a week, but you have to leave tonight, where would you go, Dana?
I would go to, what's it called? Antigua.
Antigua?
Because my friend Ingrid has a house there. She's invited us a couple of times, and I've never been able to go. And so I would go there for a week, and I would not take my phone.
Well, that's cheap.
I would go to Spain. I was in Spain about 15 years ago. Amazing country. I
Yeah.
absolutely adore Spain. I haven't been back since, and I've been dying to get back.
I've never been. I want to go.
Barcelona's a
Yeah,
great city.
Madrid, Barcelona,
Valencia.
I've never been to
The
Valencia.
5 road
Either.
trip.
Just
Sevilla,
would like to
yeah.
go.
Never again.
Please.
Oh my God.
I'll second that.
Juan?
You were like bathing in red.
Well, I just love the beach, so I just go to the beach. I go to Jamaica and go to the beach.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I was
You
thinking.
like Red Stripe?
What? No, not particularly. It's
Anything
okay.
else there?
But yes, but I do. But I think I was thinking the other day I'd like to go hang out in Tokyo again because I was having a party. It's party time. So the other day someone was saying to me, "There's a place over here that's just a door and a stairway." And
Yeah.
they said if you go down there, actually it's a bunch of Japanese businnesmen partying hard. And I was
Deja
like-
vu?
And I was like, I've never been in there, but that's the way it
amazing.
is in Tokyo. You can go in a
Amazing.
black door in an alley and it's like wham.
Yeah, Juan, you're not supposed to go down there.
No, that's called lace.
Oh my God. No.
KG, you can go anywhere in the world.
Okay, where would I go? Okay, here's the problem. Zika got me down.
Oh.
That's the problem. Zika got me down. I got the Zika blues.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a condition.
Yeah, I know. No. It's
Health
serious
insurance
stuff.
covers it. Well, I don't actually
Go to
have
California.
Zika. I'm just worried about it.
No, it's actually it is a worry where there are mosquitoes. So you should be worried. You should make sure that you wear long sleeves wherever you go. You know where I would go? And I said this before last time. I would go to my laundromat and stay there the week. I want to see if they're actually cleaning my shirts because I think they're just
You
ironing
really
them.
know how to show your wife a good time.
Well, you know what? They said
You
me.
know that's a little
they didn't
OCD,
say me
right?
and the wife. They said me.
No, that's a little
All right,
weird.
Brenda. Ooh, this is my favorite question. We
I'd
start
like
with you,
to go
Eric.
back to Puerto
Brenda P.
Rico.
What are your workout routines? Gym, home gym, jog in the park?
You know what?
Gym, tan, laundry,
it's
can't you
really
tell?
gone- No, it's really just. It's I run a lot. I just
Yeah.
run a super light run Saturday and Sunday, and try and run 2 days during the week in the morning. I try and get 5 miles each time. Haven't really hit the gym very much, but I lost 15, 16 pounds.
you're in
going.
I
great
know, but
shape.
you don't eat. You're
you don't eat.
anorexic.
Yeah, a little bit.
You are, for real
Little
life.
bit.
What about you, Kimberly?
It's
What do you
easy to
do?
admit.
Do you do
Feel
any exercise?
Feel
You
good.
kickbox, don't you?
Yes, I kickbox, but then I had that unfortunate leg situation.
Right.
Remember that
I'm
one?
not laughing about it, but
Remember my ruined vacation? I see
Yeah.
pictures of my leg, and I had my legs up, and they were like,
Yeah.
and I won't do that again now.
At least you're not.
I won't keep my don't kick your leg up.
At least you're not into any kind of combat exercises where someone might bite you. Ron,
Does that happen
I've heard it
happens
happen.
here?
Well, not that I'm aware of.
Where you
It
do
was a
this
dream,
move
Juan.
like
Is that right?
this,
Is that right?
and then
Exercise?
toss to the ground, and then defensive move, and then
Juan,
You're really
we had
reenacting.
Juan. Come on,
Yes.
gym routine.
Oh, I go to the gym all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I like to do different things, and lately I've been doing more and more with weights, and I did typically have not.
Oh, you have
ever
a
used
trainer
weights.
too, I heard.
I do. I occasionally use a trainer because I like to box a little bit. So yeah.
How about you, Dana?
Well, I was trying to think of something that, like, I surf on a whatchamacallit, or something funny.
Surf on a potato chip or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But I have a personal trainer named Katie.
Oh, wow, everybody.
And then I have a Pilates instructor named Kate.
Didn't you meet my brother-in-law at Pilates?
I used to have a trainer.
We
so I
were
became
at there around the
injured.
same time. Oh. That's right.
Pilates sounds like some kind of illness you get as a kid. Yeah,
no, really,
Pilates.
it's like really good for your spine.
Yeah, I had
My
Pilates.
trainer
I
used
couldn't
to
leave the
be,
bed.
my
You know what I
milkman.
do? I do resistance. I call it body resistance training, where you find a partner instead of using weights and you just press against each other.
Oh my!
Usually in the park.
Oh, you and Lou?
At 1 or 2 in the morning.
You and
Bryant
Lou?
Park. Just a lot of pressing. I like doing late night, early workout routines
No
with
wonder.
strangers.
I thought it was Dobbs. He looks in
Dobbs.
great shape.
Ahead, Juan's got some news on his favorite football team, the Washington.
Oh,
what are
no.
they? What are they?
Oh, no.
A big
I
development that could
didn't.
settle
Oh,
the
no.
never-ending
Wow.
tease.
You're on this. You're on the screen with that.
Next.
Oh, you guys know it. I'm a big fan of the Washington football team. But what I'm not a fan of is its official name. It begins with an R, you know, Redskins, for those of you who get a big kick out of this. But I don't like saying it. I don't like, you can say anything you like. I don't like saying it because it's a slur in the dictionary, defined as a slur against Native Americans. So I'd like to see it changed. I know some others who don't agree, Mr. Bowling, but soon the Supreme Court will settle the issue. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case that will decide whether the government can deny a trademark because it's deemed the name involved to be offensive. It's a case involving an Asian American rock group called, I'm not even comfortable with this one, but I'll say it because you need to know, the Slants. So, Greg, what do you think?
Look, right or wrong, it's a measure of the true leisure class that we can spend years quarreling over words. In other parts of the world, there are people that are terrified because their country's being destroyed. There are bombs following them, not band names. They're not concerned about band names. They're concerned about bombs. So I don't know.
So
we're lucky to have these problems, is what I'm saying.
I hear you, but I'm saying, Dana, 1946 law says that the U.S. Patent Commission can reject names that disparage people living or dead. Now, the counter-argument is First Amendment says government should not penalize private speech.
One of the reasons I pitched this morning, because I do think, I like to think about issues like this. I don't necessarily know how this will turn out at the Supreme Court. I do note that in the Washington Post poll they released in May, 9 out of 10 Native Americans said they are not offended by the Redskins name. And so at what point does the court overstep the opinion of the people and those First Amendment rights? It's an interesting legal case.
So, Eric, the Justice Department has said a trademark is a government benefit, not a limit on private speech.
All right. I'm in the other camp that says I'd like the free market to dictate whether or not the Redskins decide to be called the Redskins or they change their name because they find it offensive. Some people find it offensive and they'll stop watching the games, going to the games, buying the jerseys. That's the best measure rather than the Supreme Court telling people what they should or shouldn't be calling themselves.
So, Kimberly,
so
let me just mention another case, which is the state of Texas issues license plates for special groups. When the sons of the Confederate veterans asked for a license plate with the Confederate, Texas said no, and the Supreme Court upheld Texas's refusal.
Right. Okay. So there's some precedent there that they can try and hang their hat on, Texas style. But in this case, the band are members of the community that the government is trying to protect, and they are seeking themselves to be able to have this name for their band. So it's a little bit, different in some aspects of it, I think. And then also, I think that you just have to be able to say, what about the comparison to rap music? What about using offensive language if you have African Americans that are doing rap and saying and using the bad words? And then to this, why can't these people call themselves, whatever name they want? Right.
But wait a second,
What's
this is not a football team made up of Native Americans. Anyway.
What? That's true.
One more thing up next.
About the other.
I'm talking.
One more thing.
Greg.
All right, Greg Gutfeld Show tomorrow at 10 p.m. We got Tyrus, the great wrestler. We got Alan Dershowitz. And we got Colonel Alan West. Oh, man.
I love it.
Cat Timp as well. That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. And now this.
Greg Sports Corner.
All right, we're going to the Cat in the Bag Olympics. We got Furry McPawson. Come on. Furry McPawson versus Catnip Johnson. Catnip Johnson's in the bag. Furry thinks that, well, she's going to get past Catnip Johnson. Wait till you see what happens.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Don't even think of it.
Yes.
That was, oh my gosh, I love those cat-like reflexes.
They are literally cat-like.
Let's move on. All right.
Imagine.
Check out 8 o'clock tonight. I'll be hosting O'Reilly. Mark Cuban, I taped this earlier. Mark Cuban came on, and I wanted to ask him about his reaction to Hillary Clinton using his name out on the campaign trail in the aftermath of the debate. I also asked him why he actually called Donald Trump at one point the best candidate in American politics ever, and now he can't stand him. So ask him what happened there. And then this one. I mean, NBA, Juan, as you know, starts pretty soon, right? So if his Dallas Mavericks take a knee during the national anthem, what's he going to do? He's going to respond to all that. And also, don't forget the new Fox News polls are out in just a couple of minutes, so we're going to discuss that as well. Who's next? KG, you're up.
All right. Okay, so time for Kimberly's Royal News. Your favorite segment, Greg.
It is.
Everybody, Greg especially, royal cuteness alert here, people, because Prince George and Princess Charlotte were delighted by balloons, bubbles, and mini horses that Greg could even ride at British Columbia's Government House garden party yesterday in Victoria, Canada. So people are loving this online.
What's he
People
doing
like
to the
myself.
tree?
They joined 24 other children of Canadian military families to celebrate and enjoy the afternoon, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are on a week-long tour of Canada.
Dana is up right now.
Okay, so we do this podcast. It's called Perino and Starwell. I'll tell you what, we record them on Wednesday, so there's a new one if you haven't listened to it yet. Here's a little listen from yesterday.
Did Hillary Clinton shore up wobbly Democrats?
Yeah, she shored up voters across the spectrum because she was confident, she had energy, she showed, as Trump would say, stamina. She showed that she was a presence, and she was
having fun at one point when she did that little dance.
Shimmy was not good.
No.
Don't shimmy.
Inside shimmy only.
Yes, exactly. Shimmy.
Never, ever let them see you shimmy.
Hi, Shimmy.
No, you can shimmy, but you don't shimmy on the debate stage. So we have our Sunday show at 5 p.m. this weekend, so I hope you'll join us. We have a great panel, too.
All right. I got to leave it right there. That's it for us. Have a great weekend, everyone. Special report coming up right now.